Hey guys, Quantum here, and in this video I actually wanted to go over an OTK line for Salamangreat, which I will get to in a second. So if you want to see that, just skip to whatever is noted on the screen for when the matches start. Before I do that though, this is one of the new accounts that I created, and I actually didn't notice this, but in the attribute for event, it looks like we've almost hit all 30 duels for the challenge, but we've only lost 2 matches with using nothing but Salamangreat. So if you've been watching my Salamangreat videos and you've noticed this name pop up, this is the name I guess gave this account. It's been a pretty effective deck, and I'm going to be going over some of those OTK lines for you in just a second, but I do want to showcase, like, when I actually look back and see, like, how did I actually lose with this deck, it's pretty interesting to see that it's either, like, you know, the algorithm of the game, or just, you know, sometimes you draw a brick hand. There's nothing you can do about it. It's how the game goes. But like in this match, for example, like there's no sense in playing this out if my Maxi gets negated, because I can't do anything with the Buffalo. I summon it, if I link it off, I can't draw extra cards. I already have the Sanctuary in hand, so Baelings can't search it. The opponent is on Virtual World, which is a pretty oppressive deck for Salamangreat to go up against, because the Shen Shen banishes everything. So that really hurts Salamangreat. So once I see the Maxi not resolving, I'm just like, it's not even worth sticking this out, because I have to draw an out and then try to play through a banishing Shen Shen, which is virtually impossible. So you can see there, I just like pretty much scoop those kind of matches. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into these FTK matches, and I'll show you how Salamangreat can FTK by doing over 8,000 damage in one turn. Alright, so to start things off, this hand again doesn't look too great, but at least we have a circle that we can search something off of if our Maxi doesn't resolve this time. So we can actually play it as long as the opponent doesn't put up too much of an oppressive board that, you know, we can't play through in terms of negates. So, you know, again, you've seen me grind out a lot of matches that seem like we're in losing situations. We've been able to grind out a win. Obviously, you know, there's only been 2 losses, like I mentioned. So we actually do resolve the Maxi, and the opponent opts to not continue playing. We end up drawing into a Gazelle and an Exceed, which is amazing. So we're going to actually circle for a Spinny here, because we have to think ahead. What are we going to discard off Buffalo? We're not going to discard Gazelle. We want to search for something that is discardable off of the Buffalo. So that's going to be Spinny. So upon the Baelings resolving, I do like to put it in this link zone, because for Salamangreat, just because of the way that the transcode talker arrows point, it's beneficial to have this on the left side, because you can see if you summon transcode talker and not in the extra monster zone, the arrow points to the right. So having the, you know, transcode in this zone here gives you an extension into this area. Whereas if you put your, let's say, Salamangreat Wolf here, and then you summon transcode down here, you only have this box to extend into, which is usually not a problem for this event. But I do like to put stuff on here to start off with, and then finish off in the left hand extra monster zone, just because it gives you some of that extra utility. So you're gonna actually see me switch sides probably over to the left side once I extend off of the Baelings. So for right now, it's pretty standard. Because I have the Exceed, I'm going to be able to put 2 level 4s on board. This is Dugaris right here, which is good. I end up dumping the Will because I plan to bring it back with the Sunlight Wolf. I don't need to dump Counter Trap, but even if I didn't have Counter Trap in hand, I'm going to go for the FTK. So the more bodies I can get on board, the better, right? Because the opponent is only on Green Gadget. They're banking on he's not going to FTK me, and I'm banking on I am going to FTK you. So with the Spinny that we searched and discarded off Buffalo, of course we get utility off it, we bring it back, and then we plan to make Mirage Stalvio here. That's great. This is a 2,000 body, so right here, this could be 4,000 with the Dugaris detach, right? So we've got 2 Xyz on each side of the field here, and now we're going to activate the Mirage Stalvio to extend a little bit further. Now we bring Jack. Why? Because we can use Jack with the Baelings to link off into Wolf, and then bring Jack back to the field when it's in the graveyard, right? So we've used the Spinny already, and now we're going to attempt to use the Jack afterwards. So this is the graveyard recursion to get extra bodies and extend with on board. So right now I have 1,800 and 2,000 damage. So the plan here is that, you know, Dugaris will beat over the 600 defense Green Gadget. This will be bumped up to 4,000, and then this will be 1,800. So that's 6,800 points of damage. I just need a little bit more damage on board, like 1,200, in order to go for the full 8,000. So what are we going to do? We're going to summon Wolf with its own material thanks to Sanctuary, activate Wolf effect to bring back that Will, like I mentioned, and then activate Jack first. And this is FTK right here as it is, but we're just going to get a little bit extra assurance just in case, you know, the opponent has something in hand that can somehow stop us. But we're going to activate Will and bring back Gazelle. Now this is more than enough damage, but we're just making sure and the opponent scoops it up. So right there you can see in this package right here, this is the FTK, and then the Dugaris was the card to beat over the opponent's green gadget. So GG's to that opponent. Let's check out the next FTK. Alright, so looking at this match, our opening hand looks pretty good, but we are going second, so it depends on what the opponent puts up to determine if we can actually play through it. They just set one pass, so this opponent was on Earth Machine, so they were likely going for an FTK as well, which means they probably should have opted to go second. But hey, you know, if they don't want to do that, we can attempt to go for our FTK. So as noted in the video, let's see if we can do it. So to start things off, the Buffalo into Baelings. Classic Salamangreat combo, Chain Exceed to summon to the Baeling spot. The opponent does reveal Max C, so if we don't FTK them this turn and we let them draw all those cards, we are going to be in trouble. Otherwise, we'd have to basically try to end on a very mediocre board, like either just like this so they don't draw anymore, or just maybe summon 1 or 2 more times. But that would likely give them enough resources. Even drawing 2 or 3 cards is pretty bad. So at this point, I'm just like, I'm fully committed to going all in to win the game. Nibiru isn't real, obviously, in the Attribute 4 since it's a light monster, so I don't have to worry about that. I may have to worry about them drawing into an Ash Blossom or an Imperm, but I'm pretty confident I can play through it, unless they Imperm the Dugaris, which is what we attempt to go for. So let's just break this down for a second. So of course we've got the Exceed and the Baelings. Again, I made a mistake. I should have summoned Baelings over here so that these materials end up over here. It's not a big deal though, because I'm going to Exceed off of this anyway, so it won't take up this zone underneath the link spot for the Sunlight Wolf. But I'm going to try to spam the board with as many materials as I can, because the plan is to, once again, use Mirage Dahlia to extend and make the Dugaris as well. So double Exceeds. What we're going to do first though is actually pitch the Will in order to lock this card down, because I noticed as I was playing this was lighting up, so I'm like, okay, either this is an Imperm or a Forbidden Droplet or something. I want to prevent the opponent from activating that, because like I said, we don't want to get Impermed on the Dugaris. So people forget that Foul has this effect where you can send 1 Salamangreat card from your hand or face up field to the graveyard, target 1 set spell or trap. Your opponent can activate that this turn. So they can't Imperm from hand because they have a card on field. So like the fact that this was lighting up every time I was doing an action indicated to me that this was likely an Imperm called by the Graves, Forbidden Droplet, something that they could have stopped our plays with. So I just wanted to lock it down. I do not want to Heat Leo this off the field, because if I Heat Leo this off the field, that leaves them with an open board. They could have another Imperm in hand, right? So you have to think about these things as you're comboing. The Foul was the perfect solution there. So now we're going to go ahead and extend. We're going to go into Sunlight Wolf here, put it in this zone here, and then we're going to Exceed off the 2 Exceeds into Dugaris. So that's pretty good. Again, the opponent is on a lot of cards, so if we don't win this turn, they're likely going to FTK us next turn. I mean, at this point, I don't know they're on Earth Machine, but obviously I checked their deck list afterwards. Bring back Spinny, and just like before, we're going to go into Mirage Dahlia for extension. Let's see if we can speed things up here. Activate the Sanctuary to summon Wolf with its own material. Now activate Jack, return the Sunlight Wolf. So what we have on field here already is almost game, right? Or actually it is game. Dugaris makes this 4,000, and then this is almost 4,000 here. What is this, like 3,600? So 36 and 4,000 is 76, and then the Dugaris is 12. So that's what, 98,000 points of damage, or 9,800 points of damage, sorry. So do I just end up going for game here, or what do I do? Go for a little more assurance with the Will. Oh, I'm going to extend a little bit more with the Mirage Dahlia. Okay, bring back Foul, why not? Dugaris. So we got overkill on the board here for sure. Just going to battle phase, and yeah, not even letting the opponent play off of that miraculous Max C that they dropped. Playing through the Max C, still going for game. That is how we can OTK. You can see that Dugaris and Mirage Dahlia are critical pieces to that. Well, not Mirage Dahlia in this case, but in the last match you saw it was important. But I got one more match for you. Let's go ahead and take a look and see how that one OTK. So in the first 2 matches, you kind of saw how you can take advantage if your opponent sets up a weak board or can't play or is waiting for you to play to break your board and extend into you. But you know, in those cases, they shouldn't be going first. In this case, we go first, and this is where, again, if you watch my Salamangreat videos, this is where having those extra utility cards that you want to craft, like Dugaris, like Baguska, these are just super rares, Mirage Dahlia. It's worth spending the 90 super rare points for these kind of cards, because they do win you matches and they do help you control the match when you need them to kind of stall out the game. So going first, obviously we can't OTK. So what are we doing here exactly? Well, we've got the traditional Flame Buffalo into Baelings. Really, really powerful start for Salamangreat. I think I searched with Circle the Foxy. Probably a mistake. I probably should have searched Spinny like I did in the previous matches, because I was able to grab Gazelle as well. But the fact that I was able to draw into another Salamangreat card kind of saved me there, because now the Foxy will be live. But yeah, that was technically a misplay. I should have searched for Spinny. I wasn't thinking that far ahead, so that's why thinking ahead is important with this deck. So we're able to bring out the Gazelle, and with the Gazelle, I think we dump Counter Trap, because again, we're going first, so Counter Trap dump here is important. Again, if you watch my video, you need to do this when you go first. This is how you can help maintain control of the match. So now we're going to go ahead and bring back the Foxy. Because we discarded the Falco, we're going to be able to set Roar, which means we don't need to get the Wolf to do that, which is nice. So off Foxy and Gazelle, we're able to bring up Mirage Dahlia. Mirage Dahlia go into the Jack Jaguar, and Balinks make the Wolf. Summon Wolf with its own material here, and this is going to recur back the Circle. Or no, sorry, it'll probably recur back the Will, actually. Let's see, what do we do? Yeah. Oh, okay, so yes, okay, summon Jack, get the monster back and the Gazelle first, and yeah, with the effect to return a spell or trap, we opt to bring back Will. Then oh yeah, this is important. The reason I do this, 2 level 4s, I'm going first, right? I'm not going to make Dugaris here, obviously. Why not make a Baguska? Because this end board is actually really good going first, because I have all monster negate, so any monster-based cards are not going to be able to activate. Link monsters are still alive, obviously, because they can't go to defense. Omni negate, if they somehow out the Baguska, I do have impermanence. And they have to out this Baguska twice, technically, right? Because if they try the first time, I'll probably Omni negate it. So that's why this setup is very strong going first. And let's see what the opponent's going to opt to do here. They draw. They thought for a while here. It took like a minute for them to like perform these actions. So they just end up doing set. This is great because I can deal with this set card with the Omni negate. That's not a problem. Again, if they drop Maxi or Ash Blossom, I probably just let it resolve against me because I want to save this to go for the FTK this turn. So I draw Maxi, useless draw. Baguska has to detach. That's fine. I could have summoned Gazelle because the Jack Jaguar went to the graveyard, but if I summoned Gazelle, it would go to defense and be negated because of Baguska. So you opt not to activate Gazelle there. Activate Wolf to bring back Circle. Activate Circle to probably grab the Foul because, again, we want to make a rank 4 play, which is what we're going to do. Because we detach Jack, Jack can actually come back to the zone that the Wolf points to. So we're going to switch Baguska to attack here. Yep. Summon the... Oh, make an odd play. Summon Gazelle to the zone that Sunlight Wolf points to instead. Activate and probably bring back the Flame Buffalo. Yep. And then just summon Foul for free. Okay. It sends Spinny. Oh, look at this play right here. We're going to use the Sunlight Wolf and the Mirage Dahlia. Why? Because Mirage Dahlia will bounce the monster, and then the Heat Leo that we end up bringing will bounce the back row. We're not afraid of Imperm at this point because the opponent probably would have set their Imperm if it wasn't Imperm, and it's not. It's a Call by the Grave. This is critical. They're going to attempt to call by the Mirage Dahlia, which would negate the effect to spin this card back, but also keep the Mirage Dahlia out of rotation. So remember, we only linked this off. We didn't actually detach to summon a monster off Mirage Dahlia this turn. That was during our first turn. So I'm going to Omni negate the face down card like I mentioned, spin the monster back to the opponent's hand. Now I'm going to actually bring back the Spinny and then bring back the Jack by returning the Mirage Dahlia that we just linked off. This is very powerful because with Spinny and Gazelle, we go into Mirage Dahlia once again. And then off of Jack and the Foul that we searched with the Circle at the beginning of the turn, we make another rank 4 in Dugaris. This is our OTK machine, basically, right? So you can see how thinking ahead really is important with this deck, knowing what line you want to go for, how you're going to out the opponent's card, how you can really control the match, because like I told you in the beginning, I'm keeping that Roar now for whatever this face down card is. I'm anticipating it's a card that they're going to be able to activate to disrupt my combo or negate something, etc. But I had the ultimate negate in the counter trap. And then making sure that when you're placing your monsters is important as well, because I needed the space with these arrows to bring back the Jack Jaguar, right? So that was very important. So we're going to go ahead and detach the Mirage Dahlia and just, again, bring some fodder to the field just in case we need to for whatever reason, like the opponent is able to survive this turn somehow. But this is pretty much game. Dugaris makes the Heat Leo 46, and we just OTK the opponent. And even if we didn't, I mean, at this point, I guess, yeah, we couldn't really... Yeah, we were just going for OTK. So it was either this or, yeah, the opponent was going to be able to play next turn. But we have Maxi in hand too. So, yeah, pretty strong OTK lines. Hopefully you learned something from this video. Like would be appreciated, but that's going to do it for this one. Thank you for watching. Quantum is out.